Sew friends, it's your girl K Stu. Come sew with me as I do a step-by-step tutorial on KNOWME's Pattern ME 2009 with my good friend Julian Creates, and we're going to be doing View B, the pants. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have all your pieces cut out. Any piece that needs to be interfaced, this is step 1, so that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to grab pieces 13, 14, 16, 18, and 19 and make sure that I'm actually using fusible interfacing. If you're using the non-fusible interfacing, you want to pin those interfacings to the wrong sides of your pieces. Okay, step 2. We're going to be working on our front and our pockets at this time. So we're going to make sure that we put the pin tucks in the front, which is piece 10, and also we're going to make sure that we do them in the back of the pants as well. That is piece 15. So you want to go ahead and take care of your pin tucks now. I like to do those before you do your darts or anything so that those are out of the way. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab piece 10. This is the way I like to do my pin tucks. It makes it easier for me. I fold it in half, go to my ironing board, and I give it a good press. Once I've given it a good press, I can go over to my sewing machine and I'll sew the pin tucks about 1/8 of an inch, about 3 millimeters from the press edge. And then I'm going to press the tucks away from the center. I actually do mine kind of the opposite. I like it going towards the center, but that's your preference. So you see here, I'm just ironing my pants legs so that I can get the pin tucks in place. Okay, so I got all my pin tucks done on my pants, the front and the back. The second thing we're moving on to now is we're going to be grabbing our pocket facings, which is piece number 11. We're going to, with right sides facing each other, right sides together, and raw edges even, we're going to pin our pocket facing to the front, matching small and large dots. Stitch ending at the large dot, trim seam, clip to stitching at the large dot. Once you have the facing sewn down, we're going to turn the facing to the inside, give it a good press, and then we're going to give a top stitch to the finished edge. Okay, and we're moving right along. Now that you have the facing pressed down to the inside with the top stitching, what we're going to do is you're going to grab your pocket, which is piece number 12. We're going to attach our pockets to the pocket facing. Now, this is step number 5. On the inside with the right sides together, pin the pocket to the pocket facing, having all raw edges even, the stitch notch edge as shown. Step number 6. On the outside, lap your garment front over pocket and facing section, matching small dots, having raw edges even. Pin, baste the side and the upper edges together. Because I'm going to tell you, when you baste the top of this pocket so it doesn't move, it becomes one piece. Okay, so we're going to work on the front fly. And let me just tell you this. If you're like me and you probably cut out your pattern a couple of days ago, so sometimes my markings are missing. But that's okay. So I'm going to just grab my tracing paper real fast and re-enter my marks because I want to make sure that I have this front fly done correctly. So you'll see I'm just tracing the front fly markings back onto the material. Grab piece number 14, which is your fly facing. And I've already serged off my edges so I have a nice clean finish on the ends. But that's what you want to do. You want to finish your curved edge. If you don't have a serger, it's okay. You can use a small zigzag stitch or you can just fold it over and give it a nice hem on the inside. With right sides together, pin the fly to the left front, matching large dots. Stitch above the large dot. Trim seam above clip to 1/4 inch. When you have the front facing attached to your front fly, you want to go ahead and give it a good press. Then you want to go ahead and grab that zipper. Here comes a little tricky part. So what you're going to do is you're going to open out your fly. You're going to press the seam towards the fly, which we've done. We're going to place our closed zipper face down over the fly facing. We're going to place the lower end of the zipper 1/4 inch above the large dot and the zipper tape along the fly seam as you see now. Then we're going to stitch close to the zipper on the left edge of the zipper tape and 1/4 inch away using a zipper foot. So you're going to sew everything on the outside. You're going to sew down that on the outside, and I'm just going to baste it to start off with. So just baste it on there and come back and I'll show you the next step. We're going to press the fly to the inside, and then we're going to baste the fly in place along the stitching line. Now on the outside, you want to go ahead and top stitch as basted. So you're going to move everything to the right hand side because now we're going to work on the right front. You're going to press that under about 3/8 of an inch, and then we're going to pin it to our zipper tape, and then we're going to baste it down. I'm basting everything because we're going to go back later and sew it in place, but this is just to keep it from moving around while we're sewing. Now you want to go ahead and open your zipper. You're going to pin the right front over the zipper tape, and you're going to real close to the teeth, and you're going to go ahead and sew it down. The left front will lap over 1/4 of an inch over the right, and the large dots will also match. As you can see now, I'm just opening up my zipper tape so that I can go over to my machine using a zipper foot, and I'm going to sew close to the teeth. That is going to keep your zipper in place. Okay, go ahead and grab piece number 13, which is your right fly. You're going to fold it in half, and we're going to baste the edges, the raw edges together. Now, this is important. I went ahead and used my serger and I finished off my raw edges. Again, just remember, if you don't have a serger, it's okay. You can use a small zigzag stitch, or you can just fold it under, do a double fold under, and make it a nice hem. Okay, step 13. Baste the front right edge 5/8 of an inch over the notch edge of your fly. Having your upper edges even, matching small dots, top stitch through all the thickness using a zipper foot. Okay, so now that we got that done, this is what your zipper should be looking like now that it's done. This is what your pants looking like. I'm going to show you a few tips I use. First thing I do is, well, once we get rid of all these strings, we're going to put a little tack in the bottom of our front facing zipper fly and our front fly so that they don't move, that it'll keep it nice and secure when someone's wearing the pants. So that's what you see me here now. I'm just pinning the bottom. That's where I'm going to throw a little tack into it. If you had a longer zipper, this would be the time where you would sew through it and you can cut off that piece of zipper you don't need. But my zipper fits perfectly, so I don't need to do that. Now that we have our front zipper in place, we have them tacked down so it won't move. We're going to go ahead and just move this to the side for a second because we're going to work on the back of our pants. I'm going to tell you, this is probably one of the reasons why I didn't do men clothes because they have so many different pieces and extra pieces. And I'm going to tell you, I hate a welt pocket. For those who don't know, I'm going to just say it again. I hate welt pockets, especially when they're small on pants like this because it's smaller for that hole. It's just, I don't know. I just don't like them. I don't mind them on a coat, but when it has to put them on some slacks or something, I don't really feel that way. But we're going to do it because this is part of the instructions. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab pieces 16. With the wrong sides together, we're going to fold the sections along the fold line. We're going to baste the raw edges together and we're going to trim the seam allowances on the long edges to a scant. Just like we did up front with the front facing zipper fly, we're going to do the same thing in the back. You want to make sure that all your markings are there. You don't want to miss any marks, any transfers. So if it's not there, go ahead and refresh it. You can see I'm just taking my pen and I'm making sure that I know exactly where the end and the beginning of my welt pocket is supposed to be. I know where I'm supposed to clip into so that I'm in the right place. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pin our welt to the back, placing seam line along the lower stitching line. And we're going to baste it down. Let me just say that again. Your welt pocket, you should have 3 lines. You should have 2 stitching lines and 1 solid line in the middle. We're going to take this welt back and we're going to baste it onto the lower stitching line of the pocket. With right sides together, we're going to pin the straight end of the back pocket, piece number 17, to the back along the lower stitching line. Matching symbols, stitch along stitching line between small and large dots. Slash along the solid line, clipping diagonally to the dots. Be careful not to cut the welt. These are actually the steps on the video. You can pause this video. You can make it go in slow motion. You can make it go faster if you want to. That way you have all the steps in front of you. Turn pocket and triangular ends to the inside. Press down with right sides together. Fold back pocket along the fold line. Having raw edges even at the side, matching stitching lines and symbols, stitch along the stitching line between the small and the large dot. Make sure that you're keeping the back free. Sew clip corners and ends of welt together as shown. Stitch pocket edges together, keeping the back free. Stitch again 1/4 inches away from any seam allowance as shown. Pin back the pocket to the back at the upper edge and baste raw edges together. Okay, so let's start on our side and inner leg seams. We're going to stitch the front and the back together at the inner leg seams. Yeah, I'm so impressed with this pocket. I tell you, it really looks good. Okay, so I'm moving out the way. Go ahead and get the front piece and lay it down. You want to grab your two back pieces and we're going to put them together, right sides facing each other. We are only sewing the inner leg seams. Stitch the remainder of the crotch seam to the large dot in front. Stitch again 1/4 centimeter away from that within the seam allowance along the curve as shown. Trim close to the second stitching. When sewing your crotch together, you want to make sure that your seams are matching. You don't want any crooked crotches out there. Now that you have your crotch together, you want to go ahead and put the front and the back together, and we're going to sew them at the side seams. Now, this is important. This is the part where you get to try the clothes on to make sure that they fit. So when you're sewing down the side seams, only use a basting stitch first. A basting stitch is the longest stitch on your machine. You want to baste it all the way down the sides and then try it on. Make sure it fits. Make sure you don't need to make any adjustments. That way you can do it before you put a permanent stitch in your garment. Okay, so I put the basting stitch in. I had hubby try them on. The pants fit perfect. So now I can add my permanent stitch and take the basting stitch out. Okay, time to work on the waistband. You want to grab pieces 18, 19, and 20. They should all have interface on them except for the back facing. That should not have interface on it, but pieces 18 and 19 should be interface. With right sides together, we're going to stitch the right front waistband, number 18, and the left front waistband, 19, to the side of the back casing, number 20. Matching notches and leaving an opening between the small dots. That is if you're going to do this pattern as it wants you to do. I am not using the elastic and I'm not using the the rope that they want you to put into the waistband. I'm just going to be making a regular waistband. So if you want to do that, that's why you want to make sure you're leaving a notch open between the dots. But I'm not doing that. So I'm just going to sew my waistband pieces together and then I'm going to attach them to the pants. With right sides together, we're going to pin the band to the upper edge of the pants. You want to match your centers, your seams. You want to match your side seams. You want to stitch that. You're going to trim the seam allowance and press all the seam allowance towards the band. Then we're going to fold the ends of the bands to the outside along the fold line. Stitch the ends together. Trim seams in the corners. So I know that we turned the seams down on the end so we can get a nice clean finish. So if you're wondering how in the world you're supposed to pin that to the waistband, this is how you do it. Once you've already made that cup so that we can flip it over nice and neat, you're going to put it back inside the right way. And we're going to do as I'm doing, pin it to our waistband, and we're going to sew straight across. Now that we have our waistband attached to our pants, you want to take the band and we're going to turn it to the inside. Once you folded it under on the inside, make sure that all your seam allowance is going up in the air. We're going to fold it down and we're going to give it a good press. I'm going to tell you right now, an iron is the best thing right now for your waistband. Fold it inside, give it a good press, and then we're going to pin it. You can do a couple of things here. You can do a slip stitch on your waistband and attach it to your pants that way, or you can do stitch in the ditch. I am choosing to do the slip stitch method for this tutorial. Normally I am all for the stitch in the ditch because I hate hands on, but I think this will look way better if I do slip stitching instead of stitch in the ditch. So that's what I'm choosing to do. That's a choice that you would have to make for your particular sewing. And your pants are all done. So let me tell you all the little tricks that I'm going to do. I'm actually going to add some belt hooks because my baby likes a belt. So I'm going to put some belt hooks there. And on the back, of course, like normal, I'm add the belt hooks. And that's it, really. Like I said, I did not put the drawstring and stuff in it, but you can. I just made them like regular old slacks. Nice linen pair of pants with the pin tuck, y'all. Like, when I say I really love these pants, I really love these pants. The pocket came out nice. I am still surprised at this belt pocket. Okay, Julian, you on to something. I'm going to actually add a button here, too. So I'm going to put a button back there so that the pants don't be just doing like this willy-nilly. They can stay closed. So those are the only little things, adjustments that I'm going to make to it. Like I said, belt hooks. And I'm going to add a button back here to keep the pants together. That's it. Hey, so friends, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you and actually going through the process with you. This is the first time, well, not necessarily the first time, because I've made men pants before, but this is the first time I've gotten in detail with it, made a pair of slacks with the actual pattern. The last time I made a pair of pants, I just kind of did it like out off the cuff. just kind of made it up as I went along, and I just used some pajama pants as my pattern then. So, but this one I actually use a pattern. The pattern that I use is the new KNOWME collection. This one is by Julian Creates. I did View B, the pants. And I just figured at the end of the videos now, once I've gotten the thing done, why not sit and talk about it? Let you know what I thought about the pattern, what I thought about their pattern choices as far as the material, what would I change, what would I add, or that kind of thing. So, welcome. And today we're going to start with, again, KNOWME Patterns ME 2009 by Julian Creates, and I did View B, his pants. Let me tell you what I loved first about this. What I loved is the back of the pattern. The back of the pattern, you know, it tells you everything that you need to know. It tells you if you need a zipper, if you need an iron hook, if you need a, what kind of threads you need. It tells you pretty much everything that you need to know on the back of this folder. But what I really love about this is when I went to this section here at the top, when it's talking to you about your body measurements, and it says your waist right here. It says if your waist is this one, then this is the size pattern that you should be using. Let me tell you how important that is. That is so important because when you go into a store, especially a men's store, there's 34, 36, 38, 40, 42. But we know that there's a range between that, what they can fit. So when I attempted to make some pants before in the past, that is where I messed up because I did the measurements based off of what it would be instead of looking at this pattern like this one says. If you're, so for instance, my husband, he has a 34 waist. So a 34 waist yields a 38 pattern. And I did it. That's what I cut out. And then when I say the fit is perfect, it's perfect. Now, so I do love that because it gives you very good detailed instructions. And that's good for someone who's beginning or someone who's getting back into the sewing thing. Now, would I recommend this for a beginner? No. The reason I would not recommend this for a beginner is for this reason alone. This one, these things, these welt pockets. I think it took me about 2-3 years to really get them down, and I still don't have them down. Like, I'm still kind of nitpicking and tweaking and stuff because I really don't have them down. So I would say no for a beginner because it has these welt pockets on the back. But I'm not telling anyone who's just starting not to get the pattern. Get the pattern and try it. What's the worst thing that can happen is that the pants don't fit or your pockets look bad and you have to do something without pockets. That's what we do as seamstress. You know, we kind of tweak stuff, or tailors. We tweak it and make it do what it do. So, but I do love this pattern. I use a linen for the pants. His recommendations were suggested fabrics. For the pants were double knit, ponte, a terry knit. Oh no, that's for the shirt. Oops, sorry. Okay, so for B, his suggested patterns. Where are they? And the interface was lightweight, fusible. Okay, so he said that he would use a double knit, a ponte, or a terry knit. I use linen. And I loved it. I loved it because you know how linen is. Linen is almost like paper. So when you're sewing crisp edges, especially for this here, these pin tacks. Now, I guess, I'm sure you can do it on a stretch knit because he said it, or a double knit. I just don't know how I would feel about it on a double knit. So that's just my thing. So like I said, I use a linen. So you can definitely use a linen or linen blend for this pattern. It works perfectly. Like I said, everything else was perfect. I think they came out beautifully. I have not hemmed the bottom yet because I have to put them back on him to make sure we get a good hem. And like I said, I'm gonna do some embellishments. Now, what would I change? I wouldn't change anything. Everything was great. What I would add to his pattern, not change, I would add to the pattern is, I made these pants. The first thing my husband said was, somebody in the audience said it too, where's my bell hooks? My husband likes to wear belts. So I'm going to be putting belt hooks on these pants, but I wanted to do the pattern just as it was. So I'm going to add belt hooks to that. And on the back of these pockets, I'm going to be adding a button so that this pocket stays closed. That's the only thing that I would add to the pattern. Let's see what else. And it really was a easy, not easy, I don't want to say easy. It really was a quick project. It took me about, total from the time I started to the time I finished today, it took me about 2 hours. And that's only because, again, men's pants are way more difficult than a woman's pants. But it took me about 2 hours to get this. That's talking about cutting out, putting the interfacing on, and videoing. So if I did it without the video and the instructions, I probably could do it in about an hour. So in about an hour, I could get my hubby some new paints if he needed them. But these are the paints, y'all. Listen, they look beautiful. The construction is very well put together. Thank myself for that. I do gotta put my tag on there though. I have to go put my K Charles Couture tag inside of that. Am I gonna do this pattern again? Absolutely. I will be making another pair of pants, 2-3 pair of pants for my husband, since these fit so well. Like, why change up? Just keep adding to his wardrobe like I'm adding to mine. So that's all I wanted to say about the pattern. I really hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any other questions or any other concerns, just put it down in the comments, or you can reach out to me at kcharlescouture@gmail.com. I'm also reachable on Facebook. I have a K Charles Couture sewing page. Join the page. Let me see if you decided to do this pattern. Let me see your outfit. Let me see you put it together. I'm going to be actually putting my pictures and stuff up later because these are birthday fits that I'm making. So these pants are actually going to be worn next week. So after next week, I'll have some pictures posted up on my Facebook page. But for right now, it's just going to be the YouTube link saying, hey, there's a new video and it's starring these pants. Next week, we're going to be doing another pattern because I'm enjoying this, y'all. I'm really enjoying this. And I'm really enjoying the talk afterwards. So the next pattern I'm going to be doing is this one. Alright, next pattern I'm doing for YouTube tutorial is this. Also is a KNOWME pattern by McCall's. But look at this, y'all. Look at that dress. Does that dress scream to you? I need to go to the brunch with the girls. Does this dress scream to you like, hey, I'm cute just because today's Wednesday? For no other reason. It's cute. Every one of these patterns on here is cute. I like that one as well. I think I'll do that one too later on. But I think I'm gonna use some heavier material, because just imagine that in a nice faux leather something and some high boots. She is killing the game already. So I love this pattern. So this is the pattern we're doing next time. This is the KNOWME pattern MOR 11724. Go ahead and get that pattern if you want to. Come sew with me. I do sew live on TikTok. Oh, look for me on TikTok. I'm under K Charles Couture 46. I think it is, because I couldn't just do K Charles Couture because it was taken up. But the link's all in the bio, so you can click on my link and follow me on my TikTok and you'll see. But again, this is the pattern for next week. KNOWME pattern 11724. And actually it won't be next week. It'll be the first week in April is when I'm going to do this dress. And the reason for that is because next week is my birthday. So I won't be sewing. And I'll probably be in recovery mode a lot of those days of the week. And I'm going to be out of town. And then I have to do a internship on Capitol Hill that following week, the week of the 27th. So I really won't be home in my sewing studio until that first week in April. I can't wait to get back. I'm so excited. And like I said, and I'll be doing this pattern right here. So go ahead and grab these patterns. If you're not following Black Sewing Network on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, go follow them. Black Sewing Network. Y'all, listen, let me tell you something. I've always been sewing. But it's amazing when you have people who enjoy the same thing that you enjoy. Like, you don't have to explain to them about why you're upset because you can't find your seam ripper. They know. They already know certain scissors you don't touch in your sewing studio. This is what you find on the Black Sewing Network. You also find different ideas. Like, when I got on Black Sewing Network, I had no idea. Like, I would go to the store and I would get patterns, but I wouldn't get, like, a pattern for a bag or aprons or anything like that. But then when I got on Black Sewing Network, they were like, get this pattern, we're going to do this pattern, and we're going to give it away as a Christmas gift or as Thanksgiving gift. Like, well, I haven't been thinking about that before. I don't know. But guess what? I'm doing it now. I got a couple of patterns, some bags I'm going to make. So just stay tuned. Trust me, it's going to be a lot of content coming here after April. I just got to get past my birthday. So right now, I'm just sewing for my birthday. These are all birthday fits that I'm making. If you don't know, now you know. This is going to be what my birthday dress is going to be in. Birthday dress or jumpsuit, I'm not sure yet. I even saw this sequin short set that I thought was really nice, but I'm just rambling now. So y'all have a great day. I'm looking forward to seeing you all soon. Peace.